John C.A. Manley here with Grok. I'm going to call him Grok. This is my wife's stuffed, I think it's an orangutan, some type of primate. But since this video is about my return to Twitter, I thought I would call him Grok, give him a name, since we all know that Grok is in charge of X. Now, I used to be on Twitter, back when it was still called Twitter, back in 2020 when I was writing this book. And I was using Twitter, or at least my plan was to use Twitter to promote the book. Much Ado About Corona, which was critical of the lockdowns, the mask mandates, the 6 feet apart nonsense, everything basically that went on in those dismal years. I lasted about 24 hours on Twitter. At that time, as most people probably know from the Twitter files, the administration at the time was banning, or well, I don't think I guess they were encouraging Twitter to eliminate saying things that didn't go along with the official narrative about COVID-19. So I was, and my book were definitely one of those. So I think after 1 or 2 posts, I was banned for violating community guidelines. Now, I can't really remember whether it was 2023 or 2024, but Musk took over Twitter, as everybody knows, and it became X. So I wrote the customer service at the time and said, I've heard that the censorship's been lifted. Is there any possibility my account could be reinstated and get rid of the suspension? And they were very apologetic and wrote me immediately and reinstated my account, and suddenly I was back on Twitter X. So I used Twitter for pretty much all of 2024 and gathered a large following, but for reasons maybe of self-sabotage, I decided to delete my account and focus on paid advertising for my books, which ended up being a very expensive and not too profitable venture. My books sell well enough, but it costs usually about $10 to $20 to sell one book, and when I get a $6 royalty per book, I'm losing about $14 every book. So recently I was listening to an interview with Derek Erickson on the Beard of Darkness podcast, where he said,
and also I have to get on Twitter every day and get my name out there, because any day I'm not on Twitter, my sales get halved.
Now that got my attention because I know Devin Erickson's book has been wildly successful, but more so because both of us were nominated for Prometheus Awards. Devin Erickson was nominated and became a finalist for the 2025 Prometheus Award. And then my novel, All the Humans Are Sleeping, is currently nominated for the 2026 Prometheus Award. We'll find out in the spring whether it becomes one of the 5 finalists, and then in the summertime they vote on the award-winning novel. Now, the Prometheus Award is, if you don't know, for fantastical fiction that is pro-liberty. So that made me think, well, Erickson and I must have similar audiences, and if half his audience appears to be on Twitter, well, maybe Twitter is a place to be. So if you're on Twitter, I'd appreciate it if you follow, like, share my posts. Now, of course, my goal is to sell more books, but I want to sell more books, yes, to make more money, but also so that I'll have more time to write. I'm a big believer in what Frank Herbert said, the author of Dune, that the one reason to earn money as a writer is because it allows you the time to write more books. So if you could help with that, that would be fantastic. And if you'd like to see the full interview with Devin Erickson over at the Beard of Darkness podcast, you can go to blazingpinecone.com/db-erickson. I'll put a link below the video. And if you would like to get a free sample of the first chapters to my book that got me banned from Twitter way back in 2020, head over to blazingpinecone.com/subscribe. That's it from me and Grok. How do you pronounce it?